Hey guys, it's Prince Rich with Rich Technology Group, and today's video is called The Top 10 Must-Have Voice over IP Phone System Features. So we're going to pretty much just jump right into this video because there really isn't a whole lot of explanation needed into what this video is going to entail and what this video is about. It's pretty straightforward. You know, as you guys know, you come to my channel, I talk about and represent pretty much all of the predominant voice over IP phone system service providers in the United States. And as you can imagine, all of them have tons of different features that they typically by default include, and then in a lot of cases it's features that you can get as an add-on or whatever. Regardless of which ones are included or add-on or whatever, I'm going to go into really quick the top 10 ones that I truly believe that you must have, and that most people that contact me that are looking for a new phone system basically bring up and say, hey, we got to have this, we got to have that, and so on and so forth. So again, let's jump right into this. So, number 10, do not disturb. Do not disturb is just as it sounds. Actually, right now, at the time of this recording, I've actually got my extension set to do not disturb so that the phone cannot and will not ring while I'm recording this video in the office. If somebody were to try to call my phone right now, it's going to go straight to my voicemail. It won't ring. My phones will still show like a notification on my actual physical desk phone, my cordless phone, and on my mobile app on my cell phone. But for all intended purposes, it will not ring and interrupt me. The one thing that I want to make very clear that I put here in my notes about do not disturb, which is also known as DND, is, or code name also for Dungeons and Dragons, but for those of you watching who are gamer nerds or Dungeons and Dragons nerds, you could also say it's for Dungeons and Dragons, but for the purpose of this video, it's DND for do not disturb. One thing I want to put out there is do not forget to make sure that you have turned that feature off. I can't tell you guys how many businesses I work with on a regular basis that will turn on do not disturb for all of their extensions or for a single extension. And then they'll contact me or they'll contact the service provider saying, hey, our phones aren't working. People are saying that all they're getting is going straight to voicemail and the phone is not ringing. Tons of people always forget to turn do not disturb off. So do not forget to turn DND off after you return to the office or after you would like to start receiving your calls again. All right, number 9, call forwarding. This one again is pretty straightforward as well. Call forwarding is simply the ability to, from your physical desk phone or from within the cloud administration portal of your carrier, forward all of your calls to a specific other number, whether that be you can forward all your calls to another extension. Let's say that you're leaving for lunch and you want to forward your calls to, a coworker or something like that. Let's say you're leaving for vacation or you're leaving on an absentee leave or something like that. You can forward your calls to another extension or to another number, like your cell phone number or to a landline or whatever it may be. One thing that I put in notes here to understand about call forwarding is that unlike simultaneous ring or the use of a mobile app, which we'll get to that later, when you forward your calls to another extension, understand that if you do not answer or that person that you forwarded those calls to does not answer, it is not going to go to the voicemail on your actual, business mailbox. It's going to go to the voicemail of the number that you forwarded the calls to. So just keep that in mind. And also to that voicemail box. Number 8, simultaneous ring. So simultaneous ring in a nutshell is basically, it's kind of sort of like a call forward. So just follow me here. Except it will ring your regular extension, but it will also simultaneously, i.e. at the same time, ring the extension or the phone number of the other number that you have instructed for it to simultaneously ring. So for example, to put it into context, if I had my extension set up to a simultaneous ring on my cell phone, it means that my desk phone, which you see behind me, my desk phone and my cordless phone that are attached to my same extension are going to ring like normal, but my cell phone is going to ring also. The beauty about simultaneous ring versus call forwarding is if I don't answer, the call goes to the voicemail of my business extension with my professional voicemail. It doesn't go to the forwarded number like what I mentioned in the previous feature. So simultaneous ring is a great, if you're trying to simultaneously ring another number or something that is yours, Simultaneous ring is nice because then it can kind of follow you around and ring the other number or other, cell phone or whatever it is you're trying to ring. But if you don't answer, it still goes back to your business voicemail instead of to your personal cell phone box or to the voicemail box of some other forwarded, number that you've got forwarded to or something like that. So let's see here. Number 7, voicemail transcription. Now, I want to be clear. Voicemail transcription is a part of voicemail to email, but basically what voicemail transcription is, it is the textual transcription of your voicemails in a text within the same voicemail to email. You can also, with some carriers, have the voicemail transcription set up to where it will actually it will actually text you on the cell phone number of choice the actual, best effort textual transcription of that voicemail. I'm not a huge fan of voicemail transcription, but I work with a lot of people that are either in construction, meaning they're on a ladder or they're under a house or on a roof or something like that. So they're not really in a position to listen to an actual voicemail to email or listen to a voicemail in general. So being able to quickly see a best effort textual transcription of the voicemail that was sent to them and be able to get the cliff notes kind of out of that voicemail is actually really helpful. One thing that I want to throw out about voicemail transcription right quick is it's typically not free with most carriers. It typically runs anywhere from an extra $1.99 to, I've seen it as high as $4.99 per user per month for voicemail transcription. So I don't see a lot of businesses that use voicemail transcription, but I don't see a lot of businesses that use it, but unless they absolutely need it, kind of like the examples that I just mentioned. Doctors is another one that I see, or surgeons is another one that I see that like voicemail transcription because they can quickly read a voicemail while, doing their duty or doing their task versus, nobody's going to dial their voicemail number and listen to their voicemails while they're doing open heart surgery or, an operation on somebody's, insides or something like that. So that's another field where I see that voicemail transcription is preferred versus having to listen to a voicemail, and be interrupted. Number 6, call tagging. I'm not going to go into the in-depth details of what call tagging is. I'll actually tag a video above because I did a separate video on call tagging because it is a very, very powerful feature that if you need, I definitely recommend. But in short, what call tagging is it is basically the ability for you to know what number your client or caller called via the caller ID before you answer it. So it's a feature that is very powerful for people that have different numbers for different departments or different tasks or duties, or most commonly, the most common use that I see when working with customers is it is a very powerful feature for businesses that have multiple organizations with different phone numbers under the same phone system. So very powerful feature. Again, I'm not going to go into exactly what it is and how it works, but if what I just mentioned sounds like appeal to you, check out the link that I'm, in the tag of what I'm talking about. And I've got a whole video that I did on what call tagging is. It's called Call Tagging Explained and exactly why you need it if what I just mentioned is something that would be beneficial for you and your communications needs for your business. Number 5, call recording. Call recording is just as it sounds. So I'm not going to elaborate too much on that one, but I will go as far as saying 2 things in regards to call recording. Number 1, call recording is typically not a free feature with most any carrier. It is typically an add-on. It differs by price. I mean, sometimes you can get it bundled in, for a fair price. I've seen it as high as $25 to $30 extra per month. That's not per user. That's for the whole account so that everybody gets call recording. Some carriers, it's unlimited storage. Other carriers, you have limited storage, but they notify you when it's about to fill up so that you can, save it to your own personal archives or whatever it may be. The second point that I want to make about call recording is that call recording has 2 different ways that it can be done. It has what's called automatic, which most carriers, if you have call recording, it's set to automatic by default. And then it also has what's called on demand, where by the push of a, by the push or by the function of a star command, you can cut it on and off in mid-conversation with someone. So call recording, again, Not typically a free feature with most carriers, but it's not too terribly expensive, especially if you need it for legal reasons or for, compliance reasons or archiving or whatever it may be, internal training purposes. But, and it can also be done automatically or on demand with most carriers. But it's usually automatic by default, meaning it records everything, inbound, outbound calls all day, all the time. Number 4, virtual receptionist. Virtual receptionist is also known as IVR. Some carriers call it IVR, some carriers call it VR, some carriers call it auto attendant. We call it virtual receptionist, but it's all the same. It's the function and feature that you get where you call in and it says something like, thank you for calling such and such widget corporation. If you know the extension of the party you wish to reach, please dial it at any time. If this is an emergency, please dial up and and press 911. Please listen to the following options. And then it goes into a list of options of what you can and can't choose to get where you need to go. That's probably one of the most common features that I get asked about with businesses that I work with on a daily basis. For the record, as I like to say in all my videos, with any legitimate carrier that I would be willing to recommend to you guys, and not feel bad about recommending to you, that I know would, have a good price, have a good service, and at the end of the day, take care of you. Any legitimate carrier typically always includes unlimited virtual receptionists, meaning you can have virtual receptionists within virtual receptionists, and they don't charge any extra outside of their base pricing for you to have a virtual receptionist. That is a standard given feature with most any carrier that I know of currently at the time of this video. So very popular feature. I get asked about it all the time. Great feature. And again, it's included with most all carriers. Whether you choose to use it or not is up to you, because a lot of people don't like to use that. They like to answer all of their calls and give their clients what we call the personal touch. Number 3, desktop app. Desktop app is just as it sounds. It is basically an app that you can use in a web browser on your computer, just like what you see in a lot of the call centers. It's basically a virtual phone system. Dial pad, access to voicemail, access to call history. I'm not going to go into too much details about what a desktop app is. If you look through our videos, we've done multiple videos on different desktop apps for different carriers like RingCentral, BroadVoice, Vonage. But a desktop app is basically a giant version of a mobile app, but typically it has like internal team messaging for you and your staff. You can see incoming and outgoing text messages with customers. You can see, call history for your individual extension. And most importantly, you can use the dial pad to dial out and make calls or receive calls for your extension or phone number within your business. Typically, the way that most users interact with the desktop app is with a headset, kind of like what I've got here. This is a wireless one, but typically the way that you would do it is you would plug your headset directly into your laptop or desktop computer, and then that is how you would interact with your desktop app, to conduct your business and make calls back and forth. Essentially, a desktop app would be a companion to or would replace your desk phone that most people would normally use, like you see back here. Oh, and one more thing before we move away from desktop app. Desktop app is typically included for every single user on the system with any legitimate carrier at the time of this video. It is not something that you have to pay extra for, pay an extra monthly fee for, or ask for as an add-on. It's a given. Feature number 2 of the must-have voice over IP features, voicemail to email. Kind of like voicemail transcription, as we already mentioned, this one is as the name implies. It is quite literally your voicemails. The second somebody leaves you a voicemail on your voice over IP system, it is your voicemails sent to you automatically, sent to you or any other email addresses that you've specified, because a lot of carriers will let you send a voicemail to email to multiple users on a given extension. It's quite literally your voicemails in your email in an MP3 file that you click on your phone or on your laptop or desktop computer, and you can listen to your voicemails right then and there. The other nice thing about voicemail to email is it's not just the MP3 file. It is also all of the caller ID information, like who called. It's the same caller ID information that you would see on like a desk phone or on your mobile phone. It's who called, what number they called from, what time and date that they called from. And at most really good carriers like RingCentral or Nextiva or Vonage, they will even show the trail within the voicemail to email details of how that person got to you. It will show you they called your main number here. They dialed option this in your virtual receptionist. They got passed to Sally here, and then Sally transferred them to your extension, and then you didn't answer and they got voicemail. It will show you how they flowed through your system to get to your voicemail. Feature number 1, and with everything going on right now with social distancing, the pandemic, people needing the ability to work from home, to work remotely, so on and so forth, the list goes on. The mobile app is the number 1 biggest must-have feature that not only I recommend to any of you who are watching have in your back pocket with your carrier, but it is what I get asked about by clients and customers that call me looking for my assistance to find the best phone system every day, all day. Simply put, where is my cell phone? Mobile app is basically an app through your carrier, i.e. Vonage, i.e. Nextiva, i.e. RingCentral, i.e. OnSip, i.e. Zoom Phone, the list goes on and on. It is an app that quite literally mimics your desk phone or mimics your extension. In short, if somebody calls my number right now and my desk phone back here rings, my mobile app with my carrier rings also. If somebody leaves me a voicemail, that voicemail is not only on my physical phone, it's also on my mobile app. Text messages as well. Call history, like missed calls, calls that I made out, you name it, outgoing calls, it's all here. It is quite literally my phone system virtualized in a mobile app. The other nice thing about the mobile app, which is the big thing these days, is, I can actually open up mine so you guys can see it, which is the big thing these days is, nice thing about the mobile app is I can make calls from this from anywhere on my cell phone. It never comes up as my cell phone number. It always comes up as my business number for Rich Technology Group. So text messages as well. I can text people back and forth. And if somebody leaves me a voicemail for the business, I can check it here. The nice thing about the mobile app before we wrap this up is the mobile app segregates my text messages, call history, and my voicemails completely from my regular personal phone number, cell phone number stuff. So it's totally secure, totally segregated, completely separate of my actual, personal cell phone dealings and data and all of that. Must-have app. Before we get off the mobile app, just like desktop app, is included and a given feature and function for every single user and extension on the system that you're using with any reputable carrier. Vonage Business, Zoom Phone, RingCentral, Nextiva, OnSip, 8x8, Star to Star. Mobile app is a given. If you talk to any carrier that says, oh, we charge extra for the mobile app, walk away. That's not normal in the industry, especially with everything going on with people needing the ability and the software to empower them to work remotely. Mobile app is a given with any good company that actually cares about making sure their customers have the tools they need to run their business in the times that we live in. So anyways, that pretty much concludes this video. If you're watching this video and you like what you heard and you would like to know more about any of the features that I've mentioned, or you'd like my help to find out which voice over IP phone system or service makes the most sense for your business and includes one or more of these features that I've mentioned, give me a call. My service is free. I don't charge anything. We are paid directly by the service providers to consult with you to find out what service provider out there makes the most sense for your business. So if you found this video helpful, please like the video. Please also subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We upload new videos every single week. As always, Prince Rich, your go-to guy for the best deals on business phone and internet service in the United States. I'll talk to you guys again in the next video.